Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you very much for coming out here to support us tonight. In recent months, we've seen the Republican frontrunners call for the implementation of anti-Muslim policies that threaten the very essence of our democracy and that run contrary to the values that our country was founded on. Policies ranging from around-the-clock patrolling of American Muslim neighborhoods to religious questioning of those crossing the border in order to filter out and ban Muslims from entering our country, to requiring American Muslims to carry Muslim ID cards. As we watch these events unfold in disbelief, we waited for the outrage and wide-scale condemnations, but they never came. In fact, we witnessed the exact opposite: a surge in the polls and a broad push for the implementation of these policies. We must not be naive, though, to the fact that these policies are nothing new. These policies have already been in place since the Bush administration and have expanded significantly under the Obama administration. Over the last 7 years of spearheading the legal advocacy efforts at CAIR Michigan, we've seen on average 1 to 2 cases per week, every week, of American Muslims being questioned by the federal government about their religious beliefs and practices at their homes, at their places of employment, at the border, and at the airports. We've seen on average 1 to 2 cases per week of American Muslims who have received the dreaded 4S designation on their boarding pass, which indicates that the federal government has marked them as known or suspected terrorists. In fact, the 4S designation has functioned as a Muslim ID card that identifies thousands upon thousands of American Muslims for extensive questioning about their religious beliefs and practices. The 4S designation, which is shared with private companies throughout the country, has identified American Muslims for an unprecedented wave of bank account closures without notice throughout the country. The 4S designation has identified American Muslims to block them from petitioning for spouses and family members for visas and green cards from abroad. Historically, the executive and legislative branches of our government have enacted and implemented policies that unfairly discriminate against minorities, especially during times of crisis, in response to public pressure and opinion polling. And historically, it has been the courts that have served as a backstop to discrimination and that have struck down discriminatory government policies as unconstitutional. In fact, it is an understanding of this very notion that has guided our legal advocacy efforts in the pursuit of justice. Our lawsuits are designed to strike at the heart of anti-Muslim government policies. Make no mistake, there is no other Muslim organization in the entire country that comes close to the level of high-impact litigation that our office is engaged in. In the broadest ever challenge to the federal watch list, we are now representing thousands upon thousands of American Muslims throughout the country wrongfully designated as known or suspected terrorists without any semblance of due process, designated simply because of their Muslim faith. Our lead plaintiff in our class action lawsuit, whom we've dubbed Baby Doe, highlights the absurdity of the federal watch list. Baby Doe was only 7 months old when his parents first learned that he was designated by the federal government as a known or suspected terrorist. And he was treated as a terrorist when he passed through airport security. Customs officials subjected this baby to extensive pat-downs and chemical testing and searched every single diaper in his mother's baby bag. Baby Doe's only crime is that he was born to an American Muslim family. We currently have 3 lawsuits, including the class action lawsuit, that challenge the federal watch list, and we will continue to file these lawsuits until we achieve our ultimate goal, and that is a complete overhaul of the federal watch list. In a separate landmark lawsuit filed against Customs and Border Protection and the FBI, we are very close to eliminating the policy of religious questioning of American Muslims about their religious beliefs and practices. After the government vigorously argued that it does not engage in religious questioning of Muslims, we uncovered a classified document that includes a series of 18 questions that is a sample questionnaire used by the federal government officials as a guide on how to question American Muslims about their faith. It is now only a matter of time before we obtain a court order that not only declares this conduct unconstitutional, but that prohibits the federal government from questioning American Muslims about their faith at land border crossings, airports, and in their homes throughout the entire country. In an unprecedented lawsuit filed against Pittsfield Township for denying the Michigan Islamic Academy its petition to allow it to build an Islamic school on its property, after our lawsuit was reviewed by 7 levels of government up the chain of command all the way up in the Department of Justice, the United States of America recently intervened in our lawsuit to ensure that not only the Islamic school is built, but to ensure that our case serves as an example for other municipalities that are voting to prevent mosques, Islamic schools, and other Muslim institutions from being built simply because they're Muslim. By this time next year, inshallah, I am confident that we will be announcing the construction of the Islamic school is underway. We successfully challenged a policy implemented by the Michigan Department of Corrections that effectively starved thousands of Muslim prisoners throughout the state of Michigan that participated in the month of Ramadan. As of this past year, as a direct result of our aggressive litigation, for the first time, Muslim prisoners are now receiving adequate meals throughout the state of Michigan during the month of Ramadan. We litigated against the largest non-banking financial corporation in the world, Advance America, and challenged their discriminatory policy of preventing Muslim women that wear the hijab from entering their store locations and obtaining money services. Not only are Muslim women now allowed to enter their store locations and obtain services, but we negotiated a policy change for all religious faith backgrounds that guarantees the same right to all those who cover their hair for religious reasons, including members of this Sikh, Jewish, and community faith. Meanwhile, we've spearheaded the legal advocacy efforts throughout the entire country on behalf of Syrian refugees that fled to the United States from the ongoing violence in Syria. As of this date, we've secured protection and resettled 128 Syrian refugees. And we have been successful in every single asylum and temporary protected status application filed on behalf of Syrian refugees since 2012. I want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart, for our work is not possible without your continued support. Jazakumullah khair for coming. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum.